Yeah, so how's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Luke, it's LBTV, and I've got the mojo back. We're all good to go, we're ready to hit it. I had a bit of a hiccup with an old car, and that's moved on a way out of my life now, so we can crack on and get some videos done and just get back to me being the old LBTV. So basically, I don't know what I'm going to call this series yet, because I know the series that you guys absolutely loved was the £515,000 series, and I really want to bring that aspect back into my videos of helping to buy and sell. Now what I'm going to do this time is going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to basically say my profits, and we're not really have a target goal. Well, in my head I'm going to have a target goal, but I'm not really going to discuss it as much with you guys on YouTube, because I've had a lot of arsey comments in the past from when I was doing it to Luke. I know what profit you're making on that car, I'm not going to pay you this, pay you that, and it's just like, I'm not getting involved with that aspect side. I'm not just getting, just not getting involved with that at all within this sort of series now. So I'm yet to decide what it's going to be called. Probably will do by the time I get home and have a little think about it, and you'll see it in the title. But for now, we're just basically going to call this series a way in which of me helping you guys to buy and sell privately on the side. Don't get me wrong, I don't do this as a full-time thing. You know, I work full-time currently as it is, so it's not my full-time job. But my main aim and my main, end result is for you guys to be really confident in going out and buying your cars, flipping them, putting them up online, and what sort of information that's posted about them and stuff like that. And how to do your checks properly, because when you're buying a car, you want to make sure your checks are done correctly, properly, and you want to know what you're getting at the end of the day as well. You don't want to be going there 50-50, not done your checks, get there, buy the car, get back, find out it's categorized. You just don't want that headache. So, I mean, before we, might as well get into the video, let's just show you what I've just bought, because, yeah, it's French again. So yeah, as you see, not really ideal considering my history with the Reynolds, but we've gone and bought an R26 this time instead of a Mark III RS250. So the only reason I got this is because, it was a really good price. Obviously I'm not discussing and disclosing that anymore. I believe, so this is an R26 F1 model, so they come with the factory LSD, member brakes. I can't remember what extra much. Like the R26s I don't know huge much about. I know they've got LSD, I know they've got Brembo brakes. But it looks really nice. It's got electric folding mirrors. I believe it's 1,275, so that's the build number for the F1 for this model. The colours, I looked online, and one says like deep black, and then one that's called black gold. It's a bit strange, but I've got Amy on the camera today, so she'll be helping me pull around. So the car itself, you got to expect this age, it's a 2007 plate vehicle. It's got little niggles here and there. The wheels, for instance, they need a refurb. So, but it's things like this. For me, this is a car to flip on. So I'm not going to put money into this car as much as probably what you guys want to see. You probably want to see me put money into a car and things like that. I know it's a bit more interesting for you guys to watch as viewers. But for me, I'm the kind of seller that gets a car in and I'll just move it on without having to spend money or time on it. Because you've got to think about these factors, because if you are just sat on a car for like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, if you sold this car, maybe took a little bit less profit than doing the wheels, like maybe like a couple £100, you could have already sold that car and moved on to like 2 or 3 others. So you're kind of losing the time to gain a margin on the rest of the vehicles that you could have bought in a way, and that's the reason why I go around doing this for this. Yeah, that's like my first little tips, is if you buy a car, if you want them to make money quick, and you just want to flip, that's the way I would do it personally. You don't have to do it, you can all do it in your own individual ways, but it's entirely up to yourselves. So that's one little tip and trick I'm giving out to you guys. Now, it's probably going to be the same sort of stuff week in, week out, because I have my own set ways of doing things. Now, you can pick up your own skills and your own ways of buying and selling cars. Like I said, if you want to buy a car in, make a bit more profit and do things to yourself, you totally can. It's depending on how much time and money you actually want to make. For me, I'm really money driven, so I kind of want to get things in and out, moving on, and just making the cash that way. So what we'll do now is we'll just head into the car and show you the lovely Recaro seats that it's got. So it's got the, I can't remember what they're called again. Is it Recaro SPG? maybe, but I don't know, it might not be FTC. But the suede and leather Recaro seats in really good condition. You've got the build number plaque, which is down here. You probably can't see it at the minute because he's got it on camera, but I'll put an overlay. You know, it's got cruise control, speed limiter. It's got the changeable digital climate control. That's it, climate control, digital climate control. I don't even know where I was going with that then. Should have known that. Yeah, digital climate control. I'm trying to I don't want to sound like I'm selling a car to you here because it's going to be going up online and this video's based on me just helping you out with those tips and tricks. But I thought I'd just show you guys around the vehicle anyway. Things it drives really nice. It's got stacks of history. Like when you're buying a vehicle, please make sure you're checking things like history. When someone else wants to buy a car, they're going to want to know about the history of it, and it's a major part for some people. I know a lot of people, especially if you're dealing with lower end cars that are cheap, like real cheap, like £1,000, £2,000 to sell. A lot of people aren't really worried about history and that as much, because as long as it's got 12 months MOT, etc. Excuse the train. We're in a bit of a different location today. Right, so we're taking over from Amy now. I thought I'd go a bit more hands-on because you guys have a better look then. So one thing I have to state is that the exhaust mount on this side has fallen, so as you can see, it's fallen down a little bit this side. Either way, it's a really nice car. It's a black R26 F1 edition. Obviously there's a certain amount built for this model. I know the R26 normally anyway. It's not an R26R because that would be silly money. But the price in which I'm probably going to put this car up for is probably around £6.5, £7,000. There's one online currently at the minute that basically says it's, I think it's £8,000, £7.5 or £8,000 for the same sort of mileage. Now, if you can, and if you've got a good enough margin in it, try and beat the competition that's out there. Obviously, you know, you've got to think in your head, oh, if he's got it up for £8,000, I could put mine up for £8,000. But if yours is not in as good condition, or you want to get it gone a bit quicker, drop it by £200, especially if you've got the margin in it. They're going to choose that car first. Presentability, so presenting a car, I'm going to put everything in one video here, aren't I, at the minute, but presenting a car is the main thing. Now, what I'm going to do today in today's video mainly is just focus on the topic of how you should go about when buying it. So basically, the first initial buying stage of buying the car. Now, looking online where to look, what sites to put the car up for sale on, what sites to use when you're checking HPI checks, etc. Just diving into the deep end and finding out everything about a car. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to quickly grab the sale photos of this car, and we'll head home and discuss the rest of the process. Right guys, so now we're back home, we can actually sit down and focus on the whole logistics of behind how you should be buying a car, what to look for and things like that. So once we get onto, now it'll be a split screen, so a place I used to use for checking my cars, HPI checks, is Motor Check. Now I'm not sponsored by any of these companies or anything you see in my videos, it's just what I've used and learned over the time, and I'm going to explain to you why Motor Check is different, etc. So Motor Check is actually used by a lot of dealers, believe it or not, just because it's a solid search that literally searches every single database across the whole platform. The reason it's really good is because you can show things like the photos. So if your car's been in damage, it has had a crash, usually with normal HPI checks it will just say it's been in a crash, it's categorised, it's stolen. It doesn't show you the ins and outs, and if you do buy a car that's categorised, you don't really have any information on what to do with it. So this provides you with that information, which is really good, it's really helpful and handy to use for the future of cars and vehicles that you purchase. So when you're on screen and greeted, you'll have a screen like this where you enter the registered car, say for instance, so let's do my old car, my old reg, start check, it'll go through this little bit here, it'll just check every single part of the finance database and all its checks, and it'll be greeted to you with a screen like this saying you can buy 5 checks at $3.99. I recommend that because if you buy the bundle then it's a lot better because you're saving yourself a lot of money. You do get a discount card as well first time, I think, when basically going ahead and doing your first purchase. So you can do single checks, but it's $9.99 each. You can buy a bundle of 3 or a bundle of 5. Most popular, obviously, as you can see, is the bundle of 5 on screen there. So there's your little pop-up. There you go, you get 20% off there. So here's the check of the Megane that we've got. So it's really, really good. You've got vehicle identity, finance data, vehicle history, valuation data, specs, costs, previous inquiries if anyone's ever used it before to check. So you can literally go through every single bit of history on the car you're looking at. It'll tell you the full specs, brake horsepower, 230 horsepower from factory. I believe the R26 is all they do a Megane 225, that's it, so you get an extra 5 horsepower from this model, loads of power. Basically, yeah, so it's really good, and it's suited really well for people like myself going to get cars and things like that. So at the very top, we're greeted with, you can upload a photo if you want, don't have to. Greeted with if it's got any major issues, minor issues. Luckily the car's not. I did do checking it beforehand. You can verify the VIN number, date of first registration, and loads of other bits and bobs, outstanding finance, bits and bobs of this, history of the car, if it's been scrapped or not, has it been stolen, is it at risk, you know. The list goes on. Tells you registered previous keepers. There's 5 previous keepers, which is correct. There's 5 on the V5. Here's a quick one for you guys if you didn't know. A V5 registration certificate isn't actually proof of ownership of a vehicle. Did you know that or did you not know that? So colour changes, no colour changes, MOT history, it tells you every single part of the MOT history here, blah blah blah, and there's loads of stuff. Is the road tax valid? Yes, it's taxed for another 22 weeks. Recall by manufacturer. Now this is a really good hot topic for people, because believe it or not, yes, if you go out, I mean BMWs, Mercedes and Audis do have a lot of these recalls. It's ridiculous. I know people that are buying cars that are like 9 plates, 10 plates, BMWs, and they're still going back for recalls today. So it's really good to tell you if you've got any recalls on a car. Obviously the manufacturer, the dealer will fit that, will have that sorted for you free of charge, which is really great and really peace of mind for you guys as well. So it'll tell you prices over for this, what the cars sell for, private sale, retail value at 7,220. You know, it's really good. Now, like I said, I'm going to sell this car probably between 6.5 and 7 grand. It's a bit below retail, so it's really good. Manufacturer warranty, obviously expired, and it just gives you the overall rundown. You know, the emissions, it's got very high emissions, but it is an older car. The economy, and the breakdown of it is incredible. Like the weight, the height, length, you can literally get every single aspect and spec of your car on this as well. It's, look, safety, the running costs, the list just goes absolutely on. It tells you who's looked at the car and that as well, which is really good. So that is motorway. That's motor check. So motor check's really good. Something that I've been using a lot on my cars. The lighting's not really good here. There you go, that's a bit better now. You might be able to see my face a bit more. It's really handy for me. I'm not going to go too far in today in explaining about how I would propose an advert and get it done. We'll save that for another video. I mean, you've probably seen me do it a bit more in my £550,000 series if you want to go back and watch that. But I want to do it in more in-depth ways. And this you know, the series is just going to be based on this. If there's anything I pick up, because every day is a school day, every day we're learning, and obviously I've learned a lot now working with Chris, who's helped me a lot. So credit to him. He's really helped me out through my journey within the motor trade so far, and I absolutely love it. And I kind of wanted to forward on a few bits to you guys. Obviously you can't give away every single tip and trick in the book, but I would like to help out as much as I possibly can, because yeah, and I know a lot of people probably take these on board and start doing it themselves, but just know your limits, guys. I don't do this on the side full time. If you start going into it full time, you're gonna have to start getting dealer licenses and things like that. But if you're looking to make a little bit of money on the side, it's a great way to go down and start doing it. There's money out there to be made. You just got to make sure you're looking at the correct car, check the market, check what cars are going for at that sort of time. Area is a massive thing. Being down here in the southwest, cars do tend to sell for a little bit more because people don't really want to travel. It's really strange though, because up in Scotland the cars are a lot cheaper. So you think it worked the other way around, but it's very odd. But people who down here do pay a little bit more for their cars. They just don't want to travel, and to be honest, I can't blame them. A lot of the cars I collect most of the time are local. But yeah, that is that, guys. You've seen the car. I'm back. LBTV's back. It's great. I've got a lot of energy now, and it's really good. I'm motivated to come back and make some videos for you guys. And it's just really exciting. I can't wait to get on board, because I know this was a big thing for you guys on YouTube, was watching how I do everything. But today you've learned out a few little basic bits. You figured out you've seen what car I've got. I forgot to mention, it's quite cool. It's got it has got some mods. It's got, well, I'd say bottom mod. It's got a solid single mass firewheel from K-Tech, which is really cool. Although it's a bit like vibratey, and it makes a weird sound obviously when it starts up, but that's just what they are like for that. That's the nature of them. The car picks up a lot more. Obviously, it's completely stock map, stock file. But yeah, when you're looking for cars, whether it's modified or stock, you've just got to get a good understanding of that car. I would never personally probably buy to sell a stage 1, stage 2 like R26 because they don't really like being pushed, in all honesty. They don't. They don't really like going over, like, I think it's like 280, 300 horsepower. They start to, you know, have issues, and you know, it's not really things you want to get involved with down the line. But like again, I said, there's many ways in which you can go down the route of making money on a car. You can buy them just to flip. You can buy them on to get things sorted on them, and you know, if you find one with an issue that, you know, someone doesn't know about or not very clued up about mechanically, and you're thinking in your head, oh, I could actually get that sorted and I can make myself a couple grand, couple $100 and it all starts somewhere. You don't have to start from, you know, a couple grand, you know, on a budget. I started from a £500 budget a year ago, 2 years ago. Made it up to £15,000. It's, you know, there's no drawing the line, there's no like limit, and you guys can just push yourself as hard as you want to go get these things done. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up on episode 1. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's not been crazy, but hopefully as the journey goes on, we start getting different cars in, different types of things in, we can move on. Now, let me know in the comments down below if you've got any other suggestions of like HPI check reports for any other people. I found that this is good. A quick little one I use to make sure I can, you know, get hold of a car's information pretty quick from, you know, if I only got my phone's hand, is I will just use, I mean, not saying you can use it on a non-using phone, you can use it on your phone, but I use Total Car Checks, a good little app again. Great for just quickly typing in, just log it in, gives you some basic information. You can then use a HPI check on that as well. It's a bit cheap, I think it's like $1.99 or $2.99 on that, but you don't get the full in-depth review like this, so it's obviously better to do a full check like this. I mean, if you just want to get some basic information whilst you're out looking about at the cars, you can. But yeah, guys, just use things like you know, softwares like Facebook, or applications like Facebook, eBay. Instagram's a great one. If you can build up a nice profile and show that you're selling some really nice cars, then yeah, it's a good image for you guys. So yeah, that is episode 1. I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you're enjoying the comeback. We're going to make some cool videos. Just bring the excitement, bring the energy. If there's anything you want to see in these episodes that are a bit more in depth, comment down below. I'm more than happy to help. If there's any type of cars you would like to see, comment down below as well, because I'm all ears, because I'm always taking a dive into looking at other cars. But yeah, guys, apart from that, subscribe to the channel if you're new. It means a lot to me. Please leave a like on this video as well, because it helps with algorithms and pushing videos out and things like that. And apart from that, I'll catch you all in the next episode. Take it easy, enjoy your week or weekend, wherever you're watching.